Hello again to everybody. So today I just wanted to do a few of my favourite stretches with you. Don't worry if you're not able to do them as deeply maybe as I can, or maybe you're better than I am. I mean, we're all on our own journey here, on our sort of flexibility journey, and it's all about doing what's right for you. So obviously don't overstretch. We want to just get that nice point of stretch, hold it, let the body relax into that position, and then what happens is next time it's more used to being in that position, and then it will allow that muscle to lengthen in a very safe way. So I like to try and do these as often as I can, just because I know it makes me feel good, and I notice my flexibility improving. I have to admit though, since lockdown, haven't done so much, but back onto it now. So let's get started. So I often like to try and do some nice hip opening, because I find hips can get very, very tight. So we're going to open out the legs nice and wide. So make sure you've warmed up first. So if you do maybe a couple of warm-up moves, because we don't want to do stretches when we're cold, because that's not going to be the best for them. It's actually, the muscles aren't going to then have that elasticity to open and close. So make sure you've done some sort of warm up, whether it be a little mini workout or some good stretches. Get those legs walking, a nice a nice walk maybe, if you can. Just something so you're not cold when you start. Okay, so you're going to open out those legs as wide as you can. Okay, so it's your body, you're measuring against yourself. I like to do nice strong feet. So what I mean by that is those toes are sticking straight up into the air. We probably will change them later, but for now you've got a nice open for that chest. You've got a nice rotation through the hip. Okay, whereas if we're letting the feet sort of flop down a bit lazy, we're not going to feel the same stretch. So we want to rotate those feet up towards the ceiling. Okay, get a bit more strength here. So you can, if your back isn't great, I'd recommend keeping that chest lifted the whole time. So you can walk those hands forwards and keep a nice tall spine position. Okay, you're going to start to feel that stretch increase across those inner thighs. If you've got more flexibility and you can soften down and your back is fine, you can allow yourself to come downwards. Okay, and this is going to then add some more load to that stretch. So we're thinking about pushing those the tailbone and those sit bones down into the mat, and we're just going to hold this position. So take some nice deep breaths and hold. And I want you to focus on your muscles relaxing and lengthening and opening up. So hold, open as wide as you can, and breathe. Going to walk those hands in. So I like to combine some of these exercises with side stretches, and that also helps release off through those hips. So what we're going to do is take one hand to the inside. So let's take your right hand to the inside of the right leg, and then we're going to take the left arm and we're going to go up and across and stretch over. And what you want to do is feel that length and that stretch down the side of the body. Now if this isn't comfortable, you haven't got a very good back, let's say there's something going on with your spine, you can just reach up. Okay, and up is just as good. We're still getting that length here, but if you feel you can and you want to progress your flexibility, you're trying to reach over and across. So we're trying to get that hand towards the foot, okay, but don't do it to the expense of your position. We want to be open through the chest to look up towards the ceiling. What we don't want to do is bring the arm across. Okay, that's not going to give you that flexibility. So make sure we're reaching up and over. Make sure you can kind of look under your armpit and see the ceiling, and hold, breathe, and just stretch into that stretch as much as you can. Wonderful. We're going to carefully release off. Very, very nice. So what we're going to do is go forwards again for our inner thigh stretch. So again, either walk the hands forwards or you can soften down. So again, taking some nice deep breaths and focus on that open. Make sure those toes are still Nice and straight, okay? So just breathe. Good. And then walking those hands carefully back in. So we're going to do that side stretch on the other side. So it's the left hand to the inside of the left leg. Taking the right arm then up and across. So remember, we can do upwards if we need to. Okay, but if you want to increase that flexibility, we're working downwards and towards the foot. So don't worry if you can't reach. One side is probably more flexible than the other side. Okay, so I can't actually reach my toe on this one. Okay, so obviously I'm a bit more tight here. So I've got to work myself down nice and carefully, and I'm not going to force it. I'm just going to let gravity open up through here. I'm going to breathe, nice deep breaths. It's not so much about how far you get, it's about the stretch itself. So that's what you need to remember. Feeling that stretch, feeling that release. If you do find one side is less flexible, spend more time on the side that's less flexible. So just take a little bit longer in that position. All right, so we're going to release off, nice and carefully coming up to your top tall spine position. So we're going to open out again. All right, so nice and wide, or as wide as you can go. Same again, so we're going to walk forwards or we're going to soften down. So you might find you're a little bit looser now, which is what we wanted from doing that side stretch. Taking some nice breaths here. Checking those feet. And then we're going to try and increase our flexibility here on the inner thigh. So the way I like to do this is think about your sit bones, so the little bony parts in your pelvis that are literally either side. They're kind of lining up here, almost with the hip bones, but at the back, okay? You want to think about those driving down in towards the floor. So we're going to start by bringing our weight ever so slightly over to the right. Now your right sit bone at the back there, you want to push down into the ground. So we're switching on that hamstring, really driving that leg into the floor. So we're pushing down as much as we can. So we're going to hold that position, pushing down, and then we're going to slide ourselves across to the left. Okay, and then we're going to swap over. We're going to push that left sit bone in towards the floor and push that hamstring down as well. So push, push, push. And then very carefully, try and go a little bit lower. We're going to slide across, okay? And then drive again that sit bone in towards the floor. Push, push, push. And then slide across. Again, push that left sit bone down into the ground. So obviously, only go as far as you feel comfortable. When you feel a little bit too much, just stop and just come back into center and just hold that new position. That's it, and then we'll come into center. But you can do it as many times as you want either side, and you should find that you're a little bit lower. You can reach a bit further forwards. You've got a little bit more open through those hips. So now if you want to, if you feel comfortable, we can soften those legs. I like to just draw them down, but I've just been working on my flexibility for a while now. So you can soften those legs a little bit and then see how far down you can go. So you can just go down as far as you feel comfortable, soften down, and just breathe, nice deep breaths. And release all the way off. So to come out of here, we just carefully roll backwards, rotate backwards. Bring your hands behind you, which just pull your bottom backwards. This is going to take out that really strong stretch through the inside of those legs. And we'll just bring them in, give them a little shake, a little release off, so you can bring them in front of you and release. And hopefully you got a little bit more flexibility through those inner thighs, and I hope you enjoyed it. So thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.